Hi everybody, it's Kendrick from Providence Tarot. I am going to give you a daily. I know it's kind of late, so let's make this daily for March 8th, okay? So this is going to be a daily for Monday, March 8th, which is great. I like that. Monday really is the first day of the week, but we're going to go with Monday, the sun or the moon. Hello, okay? Either or. I'm going to be using the Druidcraft Tarot deck here, right? And yeah, here we go. So I'm going to be doing this one for tarot, and then there are going to be two other readings that I'm going to do at the same length that this one is going to be. One is going to be Lenormand, and the other is going to be Romance Angels Oracle. So go ahead and make sure that you watch all of those whenever you have time. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And also you can follow me on Instagram. It is Providence Tarot there, and my personal account is NYC Kendrick, okay? This is, for entertainment purposes, so don't take this as like, your therapy lesson or like, something that you might need to get professional help for, right? I am not a professional, and I am actually not your savior, though some might say different. I'm just kidding. My shirt says different. This is just a shirt to remind you that, you can handle anything, right? Because you are protected. Yeah, this shirt is just that for me, right? Being protected, staying motivated, also, right? Not being victimized by fear, because fear is an illusion, right? Conquer that fear. I don't know why running around in circles, ever since you left me. So you know that first beat, right? Who's been listening to that song? Mariah Carey? Circles. Listen to that song. Oh my God. I'm kind of a lamb. I will cry to hero. Don't play it. Do not play that song, honey. Okay, I used to be on the school bus. Okay, on my way to school, listening to my Walkman. Okay, it was a CD. And, child, don't let hero come on. Done. Okay. So, ooh, honey, this might be in two parts. I don't know. All right, so some of you guys are moving on from something, right? We have the Six of Swords here. This could be related to like, you could be making some changes for sure, right? Changes that are going to benefit you, because the sixes are always to your benefit. There's definitely some compromise that is being made for maybe some health reasons. Some of you are dealing with your mental health, right? Some of you may have been recently diagnosed with something, or maybe some of you are like diagnosing a symptom that you might be having yourself that is easily fixable, right? Remember, I was like, I'm not your doctor. Some of you actually might need to go to the doctor for something that you're noticing signs or symptoms of, right? Some of you might need to just go and see what it is. Maybe some of you haven't had a checkup in a long time, or maybe some of you just haven't gone and gotten your vitals or anything like that. You know what I mean? So go and do that. A friend of mine actually got it done this week, and I was like, okay, work. They were very happy about it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like for your own mental clarity, for your own good, you know what I mean? For your own health sake, wealth sake, right? The Six of Swords is also kind of like some of you making some changes to the way that you are managing your money and managing your finances, right? Because this is Mercury in Aquarius, but it is also a six, which is related to the sixth house, okay? This is also related to Gemini, and Gemini is like currency and all of that, So we are dealing with moving on to a better understanding, moving on with a better understanding of how to manage finances. And we are rethinking the way that we manage money and the way that we, handle it as well on a day-to-day, right? So it's kind of like a better sense of consideration. It is related to healing too, in a way, but this is kind of like psychological healing, right? So we're getting to a better place in our heads with something, and it's because of the changes and the adjustments that we've made, right? And it's a newly adapted way of thinking, right? And it's something that we've learned too. We've had to learn to adapt to maybe a symptom, right? And it's not giving into it. It is kind of like managing something because we were alerted to it. You know, we have analyzed a problem and now we've come up with a reasonable way of managing it, right? Yeah, reasoning. Okay, you have your good reasons for doing what you've done for moving on too, right? This is a little bit of shallow water, right? So it's not as it's like we're kind of getting somewhere. We have gotten somewhere. You know, there's a little bit of a desirable destination, or, you know, it's a journey, really. We're not thinking about the destination, we're thinking about the journey, you know. I don't know, something about semantics here with the end is not your destination, right? So just because something has ended or something has completed, right, or we have chosen to redirect our focus, you know, we still have a lot ahead of us. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. We have a lot to be grateful for as we move forward because we know we have a lot ahead of us, you know, and that is something to kind of like keep us motivated and to strive to be better. And that's what the Six of Swords is related to as well. It's striving to be better and to do better because it's also related to ingenuity and innovation, right? And we have to always keep you know, observing things, right? And sometimes the things that we have been observing become obsolete, you know? Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at what's going on in the center of this. Jeez Louise. Rebirth, right? So it's like when something becomes obsolete. It is the power of thinking or radical change that has happened, deep thinking, right? A deep change in perception, right? So we are regenerating, you know, here, our frame of thought. Okay, this is very existential. We have come around full circle to something, you know, and we are reckoning. We're having a powerful reckoning with ourselves in some kind of way, shape, or form. We're starting to realize and understand, you know, the meaning behind something, you know. It's having a connection with the past and the present and the future. You know, everything is connected. That's what we're realizing. And it's not anyone's fault, and there's no one that takes the blame, or, you know, no, there are no winners and there are no losers here. We're not thinking about that, right? We are really just trying to incite a change that is going to be transformative for us, right? Other people are going to be affected by it, by the powerful ways you have chosen to redesign who you are in your life, because this is Pluto. So it's related to the first house of I am, you know, your identity, right? So your identity has changed, okay? Transformation. And it is also related to the second house, right, which is Taurus, and Taurus doesn't necessarily want to change. So this means that you have been fighting something. You've been fighting this transformation. You've been fighting this change, or maybe it was something that you were just denying yourself of having, because it's 22, right? 22 and 0 reduced to a 2. They add to come to a 2. So second house energy, right? So there was something that you weren't seeing before. You know, there was something that you were probably ignoring before. There was a powerful sense of removal from some aspect of this reality. You were removed from part of it, but now you have come full circle. You understand something more now, the meaning behind it, and the powerful ways that it can really get you to see life in a different way, in a new way. You know, you're definitely about to discover something. There's something on the other side of this, you know, and it's not necessarily a grass is greener type thing. It is like, you know, definitely being rooted in this change, right? So it's like these seeds were planted long ago. You just had to kind of like go through all of the things to get to this point to realize what the meanings were behind some of these things, you know? Anyway, this is good. Let's see what the challenge is over that. All right, the Two of Wands. Basically, you know, pretty much the same type of energy. You know what I mean? Because this is Pluto and this is Aries, which is Mars and Pluto, right? So interesting. It's like a deep level of communication, right? Deep spiritual insight, okay, that has led you somewhere. And the Two of Wands is saying that you're having new self-discoveries, right? There's these new points of self-discovery here that we're having. And it's also not hesitating, right? So now we're not hesitating with this change, with this transformation. We're not hesitating with what it is that we want to do, right? What we want to have, what we want to be. You know, we have to interact with our world in a very definitive way, okay? And this is also saying that, you know, I am my fate, so I know I have something to do with it. So it's like I'm going to, you know, it's like grab life by the horns, right? It's like this type of thing, right? Okay, Aries, grab life by the horns, right? And really direct. Where am I going? I'm steering myself. You know, it's making some bold choices that are definitive, okay? That are defining and designing your new reality. Because the twos are talking about my reality as well, okay? As above, so below. What I think I manifest, thoughts manifest with these twos here. So if I think I want to do something, I think I'm going to go somewhere, and if I'm inspired to do it, then go ahead and do that. That's a challenge. Are you hesitating? Because the twos are also talking about a little bit of hesitation too, because it's like related to like weighing things out. And it's also related to the second house of Taurus, which Taurus, you know, they can be known as being very kind of like, you know, whatever, kind of maybe lazy a little bit, but they're not. They're hard workers, right? So it talks about the power of decision, right? Powerful decision making, right? That's leading us somewhere different, but there's a payoff here, right? Because the twos do talk about a payoff as well, right? That's cool. I like that. Let's look at the past here before we go on to the part 2 of this video. All right. So the Prince of Pentacles, which is the Knight of Pentacles, which is in the past position. So this is talking about a change, a you know, a situation or a scenario that comes through, that comes to pass, right? So this is saying this was a long time coming, right? It was a long time coming, and you know, we're processing what we have learned, and it took some time to break these habits, and it took a long time to change some things, right? To adapt to something. You had to kind of like grow into this, you know? And the Prince of Pentacles, or the Knight of Pentacles, talks about slow growth, slow progressions, right? So it was the gathering of information over a period of time as well. You know, what I'm coming to understand by what I observe, you know, and I'm protecting myself while I'm going through this, but I'm observing what's happening here, you know, so I have my guard up a little bit, right? Because I know that I have to, because everything isn't always going to be very easy, you know. I don't know why I'm saying that, but some of you have your guard up about something just because you know it's not going to be easy, right? Some of you are second guessing yourself because you know that people are going to judge you or going to analyze you, you know. You're being careful as you move forward, right? You were being too careful in the past because you didn't want to kind of like do anything to expose yourself, right? But now we're not doing that because we got these twos here. Bam. Oh, reflection. I'm there. Okay. So let's go to the part 2. Part 2, here we go. So I'm going to go to the Sun position. We just left the Prince of Pentacles, which is talking about something that's been a long time coming, that we are now changing habits, right? It took a long time to change these habits, and we are trying to protect these changes that we've newly adapted to, right? This new reality, right? We've got to protect that, right? Because there's a sense of power that's coming from these changes that we've made, right? And it came from a place of deep realization. You know what I mean? So we're protecting that. And it's a part of our survival tactic too, because the twos do talk about a point of growth, small steps have been made, right? After a powerful reckoning. Now it's kind of like I'm living in this new reality after the powerful reckoning, and I'm making choices and decisions based on this new reality and after the powerful reckoning. So it's like I'm doing it as like this new, more empowered version of myself, and I want to stay in that so that I don't regress, right? And that's what the Prince of Pentacles is talking about, not wanting to regress or go back to something. Okay, Sun position, yes, exactly. Now we're moving, we're there. In the Sun position, this is talking about, you know, Mars in Capricorn, which is exalted. We like that. This is talking about work. It's also talking about how you're being seen, right? This is like being seen as like strong-willed, right? So this is how others see you, the environment, right? Because, you know, you can change and shape your environment by being a stronger asset to your environment. You know you are your strongest asset, right? So you have to be strong, just like Mars is, and Capricorn talks about strength, because Capricorn's talking about like the bones, the teeth, right? I consume, right? So am I just taking up space, or am I doing something with me, with this body, with this person, with the time and the energy and the effort, and with the reasoning that I'm sort of like gaining, you know what I mean? Okay. And this is also working with precision, you know, having some kind of like intent, because Mars is very intent, and so is Capricorn, you know, so you're intentionally doing something so that you can really see the payoff and the growth factor, right? In your reality. And it talks about how everything is connected when you start to change your, you know, your mode, your vibe, you know, your bossness, right? Bosshood, you know, it's kind of like girlhood, boyhood, themhood, theyhood, whatever hood you're from, right? This is talking about bosshood, okay? And this is how you apply yourself in very meaningful ways that might be challenging and difficult, but it's so that you can kind of like become like this galvanized, forged version of yourself. This has a very Vulcan feeling to it, you know? Bringing something into form, right? It's so interesting that that cat is there, right? Because it's like affection is there. You know, there's a connection here. And, if, you know, there's a little bit of an affinity, right, towards something. There's a strong connection that you have, Three of Pentacles, to something. And we're starting to do more. We're starting to work hard. We're starting to see the fruits of our labor, and we're starting to see things pan out. You know? Word. Change your focus too. It's like you can trust this new beginning. You can trust these new ideas. You can, you know, believe what you say. Affirmations are strong. Mantras are powerful. You know, make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're doing that. You know, and if you do it every day, because I read some that I do, and I've read them so much that, like, if I'm not around it to read it, I can recite it in my head. I might stumble a couple times, you know, because I make adjustments to mine as I, like, know that I can strengthen the meaning or strengthen the power behind it by adding words or taking words away, you know. that dilute it or something like that. So it's like, you know, make sure you make those affirmations and do it regularly in cycles, because they're powerful. And it's the power of the mind, the power of intention, the power of, you know, the word, you know. And what are your new creative ideas that you have? Because this is like very much an Aries type of first house energy. And it also is related to communication, obviously. But then it's also like in the moon position here. And there's water there. Just because Pluto and the first house are connected, right? So this is, you know, a change of focus that's happening that had to happen so that you could detach from this emotional connection, right? That you had to something, right? Something is now over. Something has now shifted. The energy has shifted. You know what I mean? In a way. Because it's kind of like maybe you weren't acting like you knew something, or maybe you didn't know something, or maybe you weren't like acting on something, but now you are. Right? Maybe your intention wasn't like as strong as it was towards something before, even though it was something that you kind of like already knew anyway, right? Or you had maybe had a feeling, whatever. But now, sure, okay, we're clear on that, right? So now I know exactly what I need to do, right? So let's look at, right, exactly. We're clear on that. So now I know what I need to start doing. I know what phase this is now. Right? All right. Courage. Okay. I'm going out. I'm doing it on my own like this for the first time, or I'm doing it differently. I'm doing it unlike any time that I've ever done it, because now I know that I'm ready to do it this way. And like I said, bossness. Boss-assness. Just because all of the pages are connected to Saturn. So this is saying how something is being manifested. You know that your actions are powerful and they can help you manifest things. Right? And it's based on, you know, what you choose to do and when you choose to do it. Right? This is saying stay motivated, even though you're kind of like, some of you might be new to something. Right? But you've been prepping for this moment, right? Because Saturn prepares you. And if all of the pages are connected to Saturn, then that means that this has been in the works, right? So you've been being primed, prepped for it. Honey, a little stretch here, a snap, crackle, and pop there, and she's ready to go. Right. Mars position, 10 of Pentacles. That's almost like Mars, Capricorn, Mars, Virgo. You know what I mean? So this is like, yeah, driven towards success, right? And this is a card of wealth and success, but it's also a card of like being intimidated, right? Or being a little bit maybe stressed out from all of the responsibility. Or maybe, you know, sometimes this is like I bit off more than I can chew with all of this. Just because it's a 10 or it's related to the 10th house, you know, that's Capricorn, which is talking about the teeth I use, I consume. So use and consumption means that like, that's a lot of energetic flow. You know, a wealth of energy. It takes a lot of energy to manage what it is that you are doing, you know? So you've got to give yourself the time that you need to replenish, right? Eating, because this is Virgo. All around mental health, you know. Give value to everything that is incorporated into your daily life, right? So everything demands some attention, right? Pay attention to detail, okay? Definitely. Also, this card is saying some of you have been thinking about donating to a cause or something, and you just haven't. You know, find whatever that is. It doesn't matter. It could be anything. It could be an animal organization. It could be one for children. It could be one for the elderly. It could be one for less fortunate people. It could be one for, like, you know, anything. Anything. It could be like an organization that you're connected to. Something. You know what I mean? And I feel like some of you have been thinking about doing that. So you know, go ahead and try to do that. All right, so in your relationships position or your Venus position, you know, pleasure, harmony, all of that, creativity. The Five of Wands is here, which is talking about like competition. You know, who are you competing against? Don't compete with anyone. Compete against yourself. Compete with yourself. Because when you compete with other people, you're wasting your good God-given energy on someone else. You know what I mean? And it's almost kind of like you're basing your actions on the actions of someone else, right? So that's kind of like uninspired. It's like it's not what am I saying? Original. So this is asking you to go ahead and stay original. Don't try to be like anybody else, right? Do the thing like you do it. You know what I mean? And it's better to be seen as an individual than it is to be seen like other people in a group that you kind of like are fighting to be a part of or fighting to identify with. You know, this is kind of like trying to get the attention, right, from somewhere. And this is Saturn in Leo. So it's restricting, it's slowing down the I don't know, the heart or something. Some of you are being a little bit lazy, right? Some of you might need to play, like, get out there and be more active. You know what I mean? So that could be what this is, you know, not being lazy, not being just set in your ways, right? So it's almost like your ego could be getting in your way too, for some of you. Yeah, sometimes the Five of Wands teaches us how to be good sports, right? So somebody needs to be a good sport, okay? And it teaches us how to handle, you know, losing, or handle when we are challenged by others, right? Okay? So it's like intimidation here. Other people might be trying to intimidate you in some kind of way, but that's not going to work. You know what I mean? Because that's coming from a place of weakness anyway. Right, the intimidation isn't going to work. Look, we got the Prince of Swords here, which is like very neutral. It's like your words kind of like have no effect on me, or whatever you think of me is unimportant right now because I'm going to keep moving forward. And also your opinion and what you might say, okay, sure, after you've said it, but you were already thinking it. We probably knew you were thinking it anyway. So it doesn't mean anything, right? And this is also like moving forward swiftly, quickly. A situation is definitely about to change. The tables are about to turn. You know what I mean? Turned, right? And the tables have turned with this Prince of Swords being here. And that's going from Taurus, fixed, stuck, to mutable, right? So we're no longer stuck. We are now mobile. We are now moving, okay? Yeah, I'm gonna have to make another part to this, maybe a part 3, perhaps. Yeah. And then I'm also going to do like that Romance Angels, and I'm also going to do that, what is it? That Lenormand, yeah? But these are all for March 8th anyway, and right now it's currently March 7th, so I have a little bit of wiggle room. Yeah, let's go to that part 3. Part 3, okay, here we go. So we are going to be looking at your future cards now. We just read the Prince of Swords, which is saying that you're not stuck anymore. We're moving forward. And this is coming after Earth energy of Virgo. Oh, I'm sorry, it is not. It's coming after Taurus, right? From Taurus into Virgo. So, you know, don't be stuck in the past. We're moving forward. The Prince of Swords says, like, have a sense of, like, neutrality to you as you're moving forward and taking these risks. And it's asking you to have an open mind. You know what I mean? This is a very forceful opinion to get something done, too, right? So some of you may have said something that might have been a little bit forceful, right? Because it's Taurus, and Taurus rules the throat, and then this is Gemini. So this is like, you know what? Like that type of thing, right? So maybe you've been affected by someone doing that to you, or maybe someone has been affected by you maybe saying something very forcefully to them, you know? And this is very piercing, abrupt communication, okay? You know, be careful with your belongings too, because it's like 1/3 Taurus, but then it is 2/3 Gemini. So this is like, don't be reckless with your belongings or with the things that you have or you possess, like that type of thing. Don't be reckless with it, okay? Also, it's like reckless communication as well, right? Making sure that everybody knows the details. Yeah. Gemini is ruling what? It rules any combination of it rules the lungs as well. So this could be like getting into some sort of word vomit, getting into like a verbal altercation with someone about something, or just kind of like maybe disagreeing perhaps. Yeah. Snappy, sassy. Anyway, let's move on and let's move forward. So the past, present, and future row in this reading is giving us Prince of Pentacles, which is Knight of Pentacles, which is, you know, slow changes that are happening, you know, progressively, and moving progressively and slowly moving towards that very definitive, powerful new identity that is you, right? That is us, but it's us with more experience, you know? So we've had some experiences with a lot of things, but now it's time for us to have some new experiences. But we have matured out of those old experiences so that we can now begin fresh somewhere else. So even though you're like, I have fulfilled something, you now feel like you still need to fulfill something else. So that's why the twos and the Judgment card and the transformative and Pluto is like always constantly transforming, always having to weigh out a new experience, you know, that brings you further and closer into your power and closer into your self-mastery, that type of thing. Listen, I have a very significant Pluto placement. It's in my first house, and I have Saturn there too. So I understand about transformation. I understand about, like, you know, the power of intention. And that's on Mary. So this is the Nine of Cups, and this is Jupiter in Pisces, which is Jupiter being 4 placements from where it originates in Sagittarius. So if we were to think about Jupiter being in Sagittarius in the first house, if you're a Sag rising, right? So this is for you Sag risings out there. You can go for it, right? If you're a Sag rising and you have Jupiter in your 4th house of Pisces, that's Jupiter being in the 4th house in a sign it rules. Jupiter is exalted in the 4th house. So this is great. More, plentiful, right? So this could speak to fertility, right? So fertility cycles, that type of thing, of being aware when that fertility cycle is at its strongest, at its peak. And this is also saying that something is at its peak. This is peak performance or peak opportunity, right? Or maybe this is like a season where you're understanding that there's a lot of things that you can accomplish all at the same time, right? This is also suggesting that we need not be greedy. There's enough to go around, right? Because Jupiter is spreading the wealth and the love and the goodness, and Pisces is compassionate towards humanity and knows that everybody deserves to have their fair chance, right? So this is saying what you want, what you wish for, you can go for it, and this is saying that you will have your fair chance, and this could be your chance. This could be a breakthrough for some people, This is also like not taking it for granted, right? Not taking an opportunity for granted. And the opportunity is like the opportunity to change and grow and also to change your path, you know what I mean? And to adapt to a new ideal, right? It's like, you know what? I've never done this all my life and I want to, and it's time now that I've done it, right? That type of thing, okay? That's what I get from that. And it's understanding, how to forgive, or understanding how to cope with like life's changing cycles, right? And the forces of life, right? But this is like now the force of life is working for you. The life force is like very strong in you and you're inspired, right? And you have a very strong imagination towards the future now. You have very strong intent towards, cultivating, a lifestyle that is satisfactory to what you've always kind of like dreamt of. Okay? But this is definitely like luxury. This is, it could be travel for some of you, luxury travel, or it could be like an escape in some kind of way, a great escape, something that you've been waiting for a long time, because it's a 9, right, related to the Hermit, and then it's also related to the Moon card, right, and also related to the 9th house, right? Something you've been waiting for a long time, you now feel is actually possible, which is crazy, It's like, I've been saving up for a long time, or I've been keeping the faith for a long time. I've had hope for a long time. Right? That's what I get from it. Let's go ahead and see what is at the very top. Bam! The bag. Right? Cultivating something, a new reality for yourself, finally feeling like I've achieved something, seeing yourself differently and not being afraid of stepping into this new reality of, really turning a page. Some of this is turnkey. So this is like, this new reality has to do with you being in a new home, new place, having new structures or new foundations that your life is built on, right? Maybe you've strengthened the foundation of yourself, and now your everything else has kind of like fallen into place, right? And it's like when your finances are good, then it's almost like you feel like anything is possible, right? And that's what that 4 of Pentacles says. Anything is possible, especially with this 9 of Cups and the Prince of Swords. So those are like your future cards, right? Along with the 6 of Swords, which is at the bottom of the deck. I can orient that with the future. But like the energy moving forward is the Prince of Swords. Bam, quickly, right? So there's momentum. There's like swiftness here. And there's a, putting something out there, right? Working hard, right? Especially with the 9 of Cups, so that you can like do some things that you felt like you never got the chance to do, with that 9 of Cups. I like that. And the 4 of Pentacles is saying, yeah, it is happening. It is real, right? You can believe, right? And you can count on, right? So that Four of Pentacles is talking about self-reliance. Who can you rely on more than yourself? Okay? You know, because you know where you are in every moment. You know what's going on with you. You know what your finances are. You know how you feel about your job. You know how you feel about what it is that you are producing. You know how what's your production value, or what is like you know, what is the quality of the work that you're putting out there too. So this is saying that quality work is being put out there as long as you continue to focus on yourself and what it is that you're doing everything for. You know, keep that intent about you, stay motivated, believe in yourself, keep you know, forming healthy habits, changing old habits, you know, that type of thing. And it's kind of like you've definitely gotten somewhere and you've gotten to see the payoff of something. The Four of Pentacles has shown you the payoff of something. Even if it's like not easily accessible yet, the payoff is there. It's there, right? Because you're right, it might be inside of something. It has yet to be revealed to you. Because this is related to the Death card too, right? The Death card is Scorpio, okay? And these fours are all related to the Emperor, which is Aries, okay? So this is Sun and Capricorn. Mars is exalted in Capricorn, which rules Aries, right? Mars also rules Scorpio, which is the Death card, okay? Right. Anyway, this is like, you know, assertion. You're doing something that you were intimidated by before, or you had a fear of, you know, existing in your reality just because of how it may have, you know, presented itself as oppressive, or whatever that is, because this is Capricorn and it's Sun, right? Sun and Capricorn. So this is like not letting things control you, not letting your finances control you, you're not letting your reality control you either. Because sometimes you have to like be like, I am not my reality, right? So we don't know what's up in here, up in this chest, right? We see Four Pentacles on the outside, but there could actually be a little bit more there, you know? So this is saying like, there's more potential here, you know? It's fully realized potential that we're trying to reach here. And that's why this Prince of Pentacles is here saying that we're moving from, in the past, we're moving from a place of like, you know, just kind of like maybe a little bit of inauthenticity, right? So now we're becoming more grounded, okay? With this Virgo energy. It's mutable, but we're having to change some things so that we can become more grounded, right? And then we have like the rebirth and the Two of Wands, which is very regenerative and transformative. We have some fours here. We have a couple aces. That's very transformative as well, right? The Six of Swords is saying we're moving on to a new reality. Yes. The Ace of Swords is saying that we are focused on a new beginning. Okay, we're very focused on emotional well-being as well, with the swords being here, in the Ace of Swords being in the moon position. And then the Four of Pentacles is here saying like, you know, things are paying off, right? You're starting to see some things come into form and come into shape, right? There's something has registered here, you know, and that's that. You know, we got the Three of Pentacles in the Sun position, and in the Moon position we have the Ace of Swords, and in the Rising we have the Four of Pentacles. So that three has now progressed into the four. So we were flexible. We maintained a sense of strength about us. We were able to adapt to some of the things that were challenging for us. We kept motivated, you know. There's an emotional connection that we have to some of the reasons why we're able to do the things that we are doing now. And the Four of Pentacles proves that, and it makes it real for us, and it makes it possible for us. You know, this is saying like, I want to make the impossible possible, right? And this is making something possible here, you know? So it is real. To be real, it's got to be real, right? Why am I saying that? To be real, Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment on the video. Follow me on Instagram. It's Providence Tarot there. My personal account is NYC Kendrick. Bye.